So I've been wondering why I've been seeing so much of the ticker NIO recently. First couple times was in the live stream of Malone Money Mindset, one of my first YouTube buddies. He's got a live stream that he does every Sunday where he breaks down what's on his watch list for the upcoming week, and the viewers also drop down in the comments what they're looking at for that upcoming week as well. Along with the live streams, Malone Money Mindset does a lot of stock analysis, company analysis, and portfolio breakdown. So he's very informative. If you're new or if you have any more questions, stuff that I can't answer, go to him, check him out, and tell him Sean sent you, because he's one of my longtime friends here on the platform. But back to NIO. I wanted to do some more research on NIO so I could get back into the loop of things and understand what's going on a little bit better. So for the past week or so, I've been researching things on NIO and comparing them to, dare I say, the industry standard of electric vehicles, Tesla. And at the end of the video, I tell whether or not I think NIO is a buy in my eyes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so let's start breaking it down. NIO is a Chinese automobile manufacturer headquartered in Shanghai, specializing in designing and developing electric autonomous vehicles. The company is also involved in the FIA Formula E Championship, the first single-seater all-electric racing series. So like that description said, they are located in Shanghai, China, and their CEO is William Li. William is a 45-year-old self-made billionaire that went to Peking University, which is located in Beijing, for sociology. William is commonly referred to as the Elon Musk of China, according to Forbes. Now, NIO was founded towards the end of 2014 and then went public in September of 2018. And in 2018, they brought in about $5 billion of revenue. In 2019, they brought in about $8 billion of revenue. But each of those years, they operated at a loss. And by the looks of it, their cost of revenue keeps increasing as well. So what does that really mean? Now, I wouldn't read into it too much yet, because after all, it's not uncommon for newer businesses to operate at a loss. But after all, it is a business, so if NIO doesn't figure that out soon, then things won't exactly work out for them, because business is business after all. But hey, look at Tesla on the other hand. They didn't turn a profit till the fourth quarter of 2019. And they started in 2003. Their Chinese name translates to Blue Sky Coming, which is heavily enforced on their website. They as a company are looking to get the consumers to start thinking positively about owning a car again, as there is a lot of negativity that comes with purchasing a new car, especially when you drive off the lot and it loses like 20% of its value. And the way they've done that is by building a stylish car with a great interior that is built for the future. Nothing should make a customer happier than driving comfortably, looking good while doing it, and making the planet a little healthier while you're at it. NIO states on their site that cars gave people the freedom of mobility, but NIO's cars will give the driver the freedom of driving. They are a global startup with 5 different locations: London, Munich, Beijing, Shanghai, and San Jose. And currently you have 3 different vehicles to choose from. You got the ES8, the ES6, and the EC6. The ES8 has a range of a full charge of roughly 360 miles, can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.9 seconds, and basically that converts to 62 miles per hour. They say they have the largest wheelbase in its class of 310 millimeters or almost 10 feet. And it costs roughly $64,000 USD. The ES6 has a range of 379 miles, can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.7 seconds, has a maximum horsepower of 544, and costs roughly $52,000 USD. And lastly, you have the EC6. The EC6 has a range of 382 miles, can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.7 seconds, has a maximum horsepower of 544, and the price is all set to be announced sometime this month. I gotta say, besides the ES8, the 2 other cars look pretty sick, and I can actually see myself driving those in the near future, or whenever they come to, the United States. But let's see how these 3 cars compare to Tesla. So now with looking at Tesla, they have 2 sedans and 2 SUVs. Well, I'm not sure if they're both considered an SUV, but I know for sure one is. They have the Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, and the Model Y. The Model S goes from 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, has a range of 402 miles, has the best storage in its class of 28 cubic feet, and costs around $75,000. The Model 3 goes from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, has a range of 322 miles, has all-wheel drive and a dual motor, costs $38,000. The Model X has a range of 351 miles, goes from 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, it's the quickest SUV on the market, has the cool Falcon doors, also has a 5-star safety rating, and costs nearly $80,000. And finally, the Model Y, which has a range of 316 miles, goes from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, has about 68 cubic feet of storage with all-wheel drive and dual motors, and costs nearly $53,000. So it's pretty safe to say that Tesla beats NIO in the category of quickness by quite a bit. But NIO seems to have a better understanding on the full charge range category, considering that Tesla has one car that's above the rest of the NIO cars. It has like 400-mile range, whereas second, third, and fourth place is all the NIO cars, and they're pretty consistent on how far their range is. So maybe it's safe to say that NIO understands battery length and range just a little bit more than Tesla. I mean, they're at least more consistent. I know it's a pretty bold statement. So now I'm going to be trying to explain why they're popular right now and why I've been seeing them in the news so much. Now, one of the main reasons why they're popping off recently is because their June sales came back very strong, which happened to be very good compared to this time last year. How good, you might be asking? Well, they delivered 3,740 vehicles in June, which compared to last year is an increase of 179%. So I gotta say, that's pretty decent. Now, this is where it starts getting a little fishy. Was it just that good news that made it pop off from where it was hovering around at, which is like $1.50 to $5 range, to where it is now, and it's towards its peak, which was in the mid-teens? To dig a little deeper, let's look at a chart. So as you can see here, we're looking at a chart of NIO, or NIO, whichever way you want to call it. And something that I realized I didn't do a great job last time when explaining the volume profile was what this red line is right here. So I'm going to try to do that right now. When you're using volume profile, it gives you a bunch of tools and a lot of excess stuff that I inherently turn off. But something that I do keep on is this red line, which is called the price control. And basically what that shows you is where the majority of people have bought in during whatever duration you're looking at on the chart. So I'm looking at a 1 year, 1 day chart. And basically what that means is I have a year's worth of data on the chart right now. And every single bar that you see is one trading day. So back to the getting back to it, this red line is where the majority of people have bought in at during the course of 1 year, or however long the duration you're looking at. And you can see the red line here, and that's basically called the price control. And at the time of recording this video, the price control is roughly at $4.13. But it's changed so from the time of writing this video, so bear with me here. So from the price control to the peak, it's roughly a 291% increase. So from $4.13 to $15.73, it's completely jumped almost 300%. And the majority of those increases is coming in less than a week, maybe 5 days. But why else did this company's stock price increase so much? Was the main factor because the sales report came back decent? Possibly. But I'd like to touch on the fact that there's been a lot of hype around electric vehicle companies as of late. So many companies that I haven't been able to research a company comfortably enough to invest in one before the next one comes around and starts zooming right through. Just to name a few, we got Tesla, of course, you got Nikola, and then you have Hyliion, then you had Workhorse, and then you have NIO. I mean, and I'm sure there's a bunch that I've missed. So I'm going to say right here that I think it's safe to say that there's definitely hype around each and every new electric vehicle company that comes around. I mean, just looking at this right here, when Nikola popped up, it had a 77% increase in 1 day. Hyliion popped up as SHLL, it had a 90% increase in 2 days. From the price control of Workhorse, it had a 622% increase to its peak. And NIO isn't any different. From the price control to its peak, it had nearly 300% increase in stock price. Now, I'm not saying this is bad or people are bad investors. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because I think electric vehicle companies and electric vehicles in general is where the world is heading to. And I think you should always invest into the future. Not like just for the future, but where the world is heading. And I think it's important for the world to stop relying so heavily on gas engines and start moving into a more environmentally friendly alternative. And I think that it's awesome that seeing so many, existing companies and new up and coming companies that are tackling that issue head on. But, you know, I think a lot of people are investing into every new company like this just thinking that it's going to be the next Tesla. Whereas I've invested into Hyliion because I think it's going to be the next Hyliion. Reading that back, I know it kind of sounds a little stupid, but I hope you guys realize the point that I'm trying to make here. So right now we're towards the end of the video, and I want to start getting into whether I think NIO or NIO, whichever way you want to call it, is a buy in my eyes. Overall, I think NIO has some great vehicles, some great products, you know, besides the ES8, because that thing looked weird, but it's whatever. The speed, or I guess quickness, is a little iffy compared to Tesla, but a huge thing that consumers are paying attention to right now to electric vehicles is the range of the battery per charge. Because one of the main reasons that people haven't made the switch yet is traditionally gas engines travel further per tank. And literally there's gas stations everywhere. Unless you're late for work and you're low on gas, and then all of a sudden every single gas station seems to vanish or end up being just out of reach. Electric vehicles like Tesla and NIO's no different, they have to consider how they're going to set up their charging stations. Will they set up their own charging stations? Will they somehow collab with existing gas stations? Will all the electric vehicle companies in general create some kind of universal charging station? I don't think Tesla or Elon will abide by those rules, but you know, it's something to think of. Now, something I was impressed by with NIO is the consistency of range per charge. You know, if we're comparing it to, you know, the industry standard Tesla only beat NIO by one car. Second, third, and fourth place out of the range was all NIO cars. So it seems to me that they have the range sort of figured out at least more consistently than Tesla. With all that being said, my car right now can get almost 450 miles per tank depending on how many street races I get into. And once electric vehicle companies like NIO and Tesla get up into the upper 400 mile range, I think those companies will, once they do that, they'll start getting the recognition and respect that they deserve. And that being said, I think when they do that, more people will start converting over to the alternative. But to start wrapping up and explaining whether I think it's a buy or not, I think if I was a customer, right? Think if you're a customer. When I'm a customer and I think of the two options that I have, I think what's different between the two and what's better. Now for me, the standing out factor and the thing that I like the most about NIO is that their range is a tad higher than the majority of Tesla's cars. But it isn't that much higher. Is it going to make me sit there and go, wow, I'm getting such a good deal? So if the two companies are making about the same range and they're going to cost me relatively the same price range, then why wouldn't I want to go fast? Or at least have the ability to go fast if I wanted to. So for me right now, in my eyes, I don't think I will have NIO as a long-term investment. Well, I think there are better options out there, and I think consumers will think there's better options out there too. Because at the end of the day, customers make businesses. But possibly buy some shares in this company for a speculation play, no doubt. Like, I could definitely see myself doing that. Well, that's going to be it for me on this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stock company product comparison video over NIO and Tesla, because while doing the research for this video, I definitely found out some cool things about NIO, and I am excited to see where they go in the future. I think they definitely have the potential to become something big in the future, but I'd say the electric car company space is starting to get a little cluttered, so they need to stand out. And right now, I wouldn't think, for myself, it would be a long-term investment. Like I said, it would definitely be a speculation play for sure. But like I said, that's going to be it for me on this one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Knocked you over there. Is that it? Did I do everything? I really like, hey, future Sean, while you're editing this, I kind of like this little setup over here. I wish we would have done more of the video over here. It's a nice setup. It is a nice setup for sure. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna get one out of this. So, all right. We probably got a good one already, so it doesn't even matter.